Hi, Sue here from Elixir. I wanted to have a really quick chat about asset-based fees. Now, I know right now there's a lot of advisors really having some good thought about their revenue models, whether or not you're losing a whole bunch of revenue from grandfathered commissions, or whether it's because you've got significant lifts in the income or the expenses that you've got in your business, and you're looking at the chargeable time you've got in your practice around doing extra study and putting your staff through education. Pricing is a really critical lever to drive the growth and profitability of your business. And I know one thing that's on a lot of people's minds is how do they shift from an asset-based fee model? Now, I've always been quite open in my books and certainly in our software about looking at the pros and cons of an asset versus a fixed fee model. I definitely wouldn't be moving to just purely hourly rates for an entire advice model, but that's another story for another day. But the reality is, an asset-based fee model is quite outdated nowadays. It may be suitable if a huge part of your value proposition is actually adding value in the asset management space. And I don't mean by putting a couple of fund managers together. I mean a pure value proposition around we manage your money and we do it better than anybody else. But for most financial advisors, the value of their advice does not sit around the amount of money that clients have managed to save before they came to see you. So I won't talk too much about that because I guess I'm talking to you because you're probably already thinking, that's great, I want to move away from asset-based fees, but I don't quite know how to do it and I'm nervous. So actually what I might do is splice in here a little edit from one of our advisors, David, who recently did our Blitz program. So have a listen to what David said.
Well, quite a few people, we currently work on an asset-based fee basis, and everybody who has already changed has said that it's just not as scary as you think it'll be in advance, and you should just pull a Nike and do it.
And here we have a gentleman who's been running his business for over 30 years and he's making a big shift. And I get that it's quite uncomfortable, particularly if you've had a big story around, we've got skin in the game like you do, if that's been the way that you've positioned your fees with your clients. But you needn't worry too much about it because all this is about is helping to understand how do you create a model that understands the costs, the future costs to run your business, the chargeable time that you have to arrive at some minimum fee structures that you can have, and then make sure that you have the ability to have a value overlay. And the third thing that's really important about this is knowing the conversation that you're going to have with your clients. How are you going to pitch your fixed asset or your fixed fee, particularly if they've previously been on an asset-based fee? And these conversations are really easy to have once you know what you're doing and you're confident in it. I know some people have said, I'm going to have to drop backwards before I go forwards, and I can't afford to do that if I'm shifting from an asset-based fee model, but it's absolutely not the case. People are fearful of saying, well, how do I justify a $20,000 fee if it's not linked to assets? The reality is, if the clients are seeing value from the advice that you're giving at that level, they're still going to pay it. It's just about you getting the confidence to be able to pitch it. But the other reality of a typical business is that there's going to be clients at the lower end, and these are the ones that you might be losing through grandfathered RAM that might only be paying you $300, $500, $600 or $700 a year. That's not enough to fund you giving an active service proposition to them. So you might be losing them because the grandfathered revenue is being turned off, but the client, you haven't been able to service them properly, so the client hasn't seen value in what you do. So it's all about getting your structure right, getting your confidence right to pitch it, and finding those clients within your client base that you are going to be able to add value to, and they will get a great return on that investment. If it's a fixed fee, whether it be $3,000 a year, 5, 10, 20, it doesn't matter. You need confidence in it, and then have the confidence to be able to pitch it to them. It's not as difficult as you might think. If you do need a hand, check out the Elixir Blitz program. We've got dates around the country in September, and the early bird rate finishes this Friday. So love to have you there, and good luck on your pricing journey.